joining my stream. Once again, we will be streaming Star Trek Online. If the, there we go, black screen of death cooperates. It's always nice when things work out. For those who've been following along these last several months, I've been playing the Romulan Republic affiliated alien, Talel. And we've got her along the major storyline. And we've kind of taken a brief pause on that storyline. We've reached the point in the Dyson Sphere arc where we're about to cross over from the year 2409 to 2410. But since Talel managed to get to level 65, it opened up some options that I could complete that I felt were more appropriate to do before we had that switch over to 2410. And these consist primarily of the old, very old at this point, I guess, the game's around 10 years, the old feature episode arcs. The last couple weeks we went through the Cold War arcs featuring the Deferi and the Breen. This time around, we will be doing the second major feature episode story arc. Now, in order to do these story arcs, they don't appear in the primary story arc chain, which is something that we're not ready for that yet. One day they'll find a way to get rid of that, but it won't happen today. As I was saying, they do not appear on the main story arc chain, and that's something that I have disagreements with, but only become available at level 65 in the available tab on your mission journal. Now you'll see I've got the Cold War all as mission replay because I completed that last week. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll it down until I can find Spectres. Spectres was the second major feature episode arc, as I mentioned, and it's well worth doing. Especially if you are a fan of the Next Generation series. You'll understand what I mean shortly.
Something strange has been happening throughout the neutral zone. Go to the Beta Quadrant and meet with Captain Harvson.
Well, you really can't argue with logic like that when they tell me in dialogue and in the green text the exact same thing. Well, okay, it's not the exact same thing. One says meet, one says contact. Same thing. Since this is basically a go there kind of mission, we get a small amount of experience points, a small amount of expertise.
Was there something you needed?
And we are going to use the transwarp option because we are in the Alpha Quadrant, far, far away from where we need to be. And since I don't want to be taking up large periods of time in the stream with that, we're just going to rely on what we can do.
Always be on the lookout. There are plenty of dangers out there in this galaxy.
Now, incidentally, I'd like to take a moment to mention there may be wonky things going on with my chat room here. I'm hoping that I will be able to see things typed in here in a timely manner. Whether or not it actually does so remains to be seen, so if I don't respond quickly enough, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because my interface on my iPad is really screwy. Anyway, Captain Harvson. I seem to recall having run into this fellow around Nimbus 3, maybe.
Thank you for contacting me. As you are no doubt aware, the neutral zone is where a lot of the conflict between Starfleet and the Klingon Defense Force happens. I recently came into some interesting intelligence and passed it along to Subcommander Nadal. I'm sure she'll be in touch with further instructions shortly.
That likely refers to the whole Nimbus 3
There's
arc,
a lot to be done. Starfleet appreciates your help.
Okay, so talk to me, Captain.
There's something very strange happening in the Eta Eridani sector block. The last time I was at Drozana Station, there were blue lights flickering on and off. and I swear that I was seeing things. That's not the only thing. There's some odd ship movements by a Cardassian splinter group, and Etna Eridani is way out of the True Way's normal range. When I inquired internally, someone at headquarters put me in touch with Franklin Drake. He's requested that you report to him for the time being. Drake wouldn't say there's anything strange happening, although I wouldn't expect someone like him to admit to anything he didn't have to. But he did say there's a matter that requires your immediate attention. Perhaps if you assist him now, he'll be more forthcoming in the future. Patching you through to Drake now.
I ever get the feeling that there was some more dialogue that should have been typed out here? And there it is. So here we go, another one of those little bugs that are annoying occasionally. And since it's not a part of the major episode chain anymore, it's probably never going to get fixed.
I have a job that requires your specific skills.
I have a specific skill set that makes you a nightmare for people. I'm getting that quote horribly wrong. Don't mind me. I can't do a Liam Neeson voice anyway.
I expect you to be efficient and discreet. Don't disappoint me.
Yeah. Who exactly are you?
Not exactly. I represent an organization devoted to protecting the Federation from all threats, internal and external. Some call us Section 31, and that is as good a name as any. Our methods of defense have been called extreme, even barbaric. But those who oppose us are simply being naive. Cling to your ideals all you want. Will they protect you from the Klingons? What about the Board? Do you honestly think you can come to some sort of peaceful understanding with the Collective?
Folks who are familiar with the Deep Space Nine series are probably familiar with Section 31. And actually, now that I think about it, they showed up in the Star Trek Enterprise series as well. These are not nice people. At all. And, well, as the guy said, they're not exactly affiliated with the Federation or Starfleet intelligence. But it's possible they're looking a blind eye at them.
Of course not. My organization understands the dangers, and we're prepared to face them. You have been identified as someone who can be of use. It would be unfortunate for both of us if that is not the case.
Now that sounded like a threat.
Until next time.
Not so fast. You wanted to contact me. Spit it out.
I always collect my debts. I provided Commander Talmera with assets and materials to assist you in your recent encounters with the Tal Shiar. Now it's your turn to assist me. We have reports of a True Wave fleet entering the neutral zone and picking a fight with the Klingons near the Donatu system. Having two of our enemies fight is good for the Federation, but I want to know why the True Way is so far out of their territory. Intercept them and deal with them. If you need to engage the Klingons as well, do so. A Starfleet task force has already been sent to the area. You'll need to join them in the Donatu system as soon as possible.
Now, I don't want to back up there, Mr. Gray. Are you saying that you were possibly partially responsible for arguably the most traumatic experience of Tillel's life? Because that would really irritate her. Okay, well, that's being amusing. Let's take a look at our reward list. We've got a decent amount of XP, although, once again, if you'll look up here, nowhere near enough XP to get another specialization point. I'm taking it the slow way. A heap of expertise, roughly the same. Dilithium ore, and one of two interesting rewards. We have a phase-shifted personal shield, which is a decent capacity, and also apparently has some resistance to psionic damage. I wonder if they're trying to tell us something here. Alternatively, we have a subspace field modulator, which is something that goes onto the ship, which can increase damage resistance rating to a... Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how good 34 is. The problem with the numbers that Cryptic put into these things is that you really don't have a good handle as to what does that mean. It's just numbers. But it also makes you highly vulnerable to proton damage during the period of time that you get the resistance. That said, there's not a whole lot of proton weapons in the game, so probably okay with that. I'm undecided as to which one we'll pick up. Let's survive
Until
the
next
first.
time.
Donatu is the location, so Donatu is where we will go. Now you'll notice that I seem to have zapped myself next to Drozana when I accepted this mission. This is not an accident. This will become relevant later. In the meantime, and we have a couple possibilities here. We have the Sentinels System Patrol, which I'm going to ignore, and enter Donatu's system, which will theoretically have the mission kickoff. At least I hope so, because otherwise it's going to get really interesting. Ahem. Donatu is located on the edge of the Beta Quadrant at the border between Klingon and Federation space. The system boasts 5 worlds, of which Donatu 5 is Class M. Donatu has thus been the site of many clashes between the two galactic powers stretching back as far as the 23rd century. Let's take a look around. I'm positive that this will be a easily dealt with situation. Yes, I don't believe that either. Why would now be any different? As usual, we have the painfully slow load screens. You would think that for a 10-year-old game on a computer that I'm using now, that these things would go faster. Maybe it's the servers they're using. And here we are, skirmish. And we've got ourselves a little bit of a task force here, it looks like. Although they kind of look... They kind of look Klingon to me. And of course, if I were to read the dialogue, maybe I would understand this. We are picking up multiple hostile contacts, both Klingon and True Way. I can understand the Klingons being here. They've been trying to claim the system for months. Why the True Way normally doesn't... Man, whoever wrote this paragraph needs work. But why the True Way normally don't leave... My god, it hurts just to read that sentence. They have no reason to be here. They're refusing to respond to our hails, sir. We may have to board one of their ships to get some answers. We can do this. Oops, and guess what happened? We just had aggro kick off. Okay, let's start kicking off some of our weaponry here. Oh, we are in a bad place. Let's pull out. Miracle Worker it up. Let's get clear a bit. Because there are way too many opponents all firing at me. Alright. If I were flying a double D or suitably tough cruiser, standing and fighting wouldn't be a realistic option. But there are far too many bad guys here. Let's make use of Romulan technology and cloak. And we'll let them thin themselves out a little bit before we uncloak and hit them again. Looks like I'm not the only one who's been doing cloaking right now. Whoa! Yeah, this is being a little vicious here. Bioneural warhead.
Integrity below 25%.
That's a nasty warhead.
Target's shields have failed.
And I'm taking some serious hits here. It's like my shields don't even exist. This is proving to be a little rougher than expected here. But on the other hand, I am at least still alive. Let's get some backup. I always find 5-to-1 odds to be much more to my liking. You know, I was really hoping that would have done a little more damage than that. Dragon 54R, thank you for following. Welcome to my stream. In case you missed the early intro, I stream Star Trek Online on Wednesday nights, and we're currently doing some of the more neglected content. The old Spectres arc. I think my chat situation has finally resolved itself. At least I hope it has. I've been able to bring the app up. It is running properly. And I am having my hind end beaten by this Orcos battle cruiser. Roy, this is embarrassing. These guys are doing a heck of a job. Let's bring in some reinforcements. Reinforcements that'll actually shoot back. Now, right now we have basically a combination of Klingons and Cardassians to worry about here. The Klingon half of things seem to have resolved itself. But we're going to have to do a little bit of searching to find the Cardassians at this point, because this particular mission does not appear to have waypoints. Now, that's no huge deal. Man, my ship looks like it's been beaten up like crazy. Let's get that health build up before I start closing in on wherever the Cardassians are hiding. If I were a Cardassian, where would I be? Yeah, we are definitely going to have a little bit of a problem here. The lack of waypoint, well, let's make sure that if I do stumble upon them, I don't immediately become a target. Yeah, we don't have any nav beacons, we don't have any waypoints, and I think that was an original problem with this particular mission back in the day as well. That if things started getting a little bit ugly, finding your targets is going to be just a bit more difficult than one would prefer. And that seems to be the case here today. For all I know, we could... Oops. Let's slow it down. Looks like we've got somebody up there. The Axon. Oh, I'm still on impulse. Let's drop the impulse out so my power starts regenerating. I was hoping to see the other Cardassians around here, but I'm just going to have to make do. lose all my shields.
Shield failing. Right shield failing.
I have to give props for the folks here using suitably heavy ammunition here apparently, because my shields are dropping like crazy against these guys. Now the good news is if I can take out the accident, that probably counts as one of the two-way fleets. It leaves one more area that is lurking somewhere. Yeah, that's the problem. Eventually, that type of cruiser tends to throw out those photonics, and they tend to be pretty rough. But hey, if they can throw out duplicates, so can I. Now it's a party. We'll see whose shadows last longest. His or mine. Looks like his. That's inconvenient. Alright. Time for cloaking device. I mean, geez, a cloaking device is the Romulan's great advantage. Why on earth would I ignore its utility now? Oh yeah, that's probably why. Well, the good news is, though, I should spawn in a location that's generally around where I warp in to begin with. And that might give me a better idea of where all my opposition's hiding. Oh look, it's the Federation ships that were supposed to be helping me. Where were you guys? Let's see if these guys will actually follow me. No, I don't see their distance decreasing any. Thanks, Starfleet. Yeah, they got lost. I can believe that. Boy, you can't rely on Starfleet to get anything right. Oh well, since I can't rely on them, let's grab some magnesite ore, because I can't pass that kind of thing up. Alright, hopefully the yeah, I was afraid of that. Looks like the Axon has managed to completely heal itself to full capacity during my little accident. Okay, this is going to be a littlest bit uglier than I wanted it to be. Oh well, if I want it easy, why start now?
Hull integrity below 50%.
Okay, well, let's try a different strategy. That was not the different strategy I was thinking. Alright. The Klingons have been nasty, the the Cardassians, the Klingons. So maybe the next trick is, if I cannot bring these Federation imbeciles to follow me, maybe I can get the Cardassians to come this way. Because it's becoming very apparent to me that trying to solo this guy is ending in a very bad place. Ooh, look at me. I'm a scary Romulan. Come chase me. Eek, eek. In fact, let's cut my speed down so we have a chance of pursuing. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm very disappointed. The Cardassians don't want to leave where they're at. The Starfleet folks don't want to leave where they're at. I must say, I am greatly disappointed.
Core shields failing.
Oh, the shields are gone just like that. It's insane. That's right. I'm after him. You know you want to. Now, where are those missiles from Federation? There's the Federation ship. If I can get my rear shields to cooperate. Okay, that means time to accelerate again. Alright, there we go, finally.
Target's shields have failed.
Oh, now see, these Starfleet guys fire one shot and they're already tripping. You know, this is the kind of thing that can make you resent the Federation just the littlest bit. And I still have to figure out where that last one is hiding. Maybe I better give some support to the nice multi-mission strategic explorer, since he's doing a lot of damage. I'd hate for him to die off before I have a chance to, you know, fully appreciate his help. Alright, it's disabled. Unfortunately, it seems that it was not a part of that three-part fleet. But Tobin wants me to get a closer look, and, well, maybe I can bypass that entire section. Well, it was worth a hope, right? Alright. Looks like it's back to searching for wherever the Cardassians are hiding. Try to remember the location for that, because finding them... Needle, haystack. You're trying to do a search on a three-dimensional map, and it's not like my scanners are going to help. They'll point me to the anomaly, which is under harvestable, but they're not going to point me to the bad guys. I'm beginning to think I should have stuck around in that big furball at the beginning of all of this. Well, I might as well grab this harvestable anyway. It's coming out of this for something, right? I'm going to wait for the cloak to recycle, because again, since I'm going to be zipping through here at impulse, the last thing I want is to run into the Cardassians and have them blow me up before I have a chance to get all my power back online. all that said, this is really not working out well. For all I know, like I said, there could be exactly 2 Cardassian ships out there, one for each of those fleet things. And I am not finding them. And I can't rely on Starfleet to do the job because I had to drag them over to the Axon to get anything done there, so... This is proving to be an exercise in frustration. I would hate to restart this mission, but I'm thinking I might have to. Because losing track of where the opposition is, with no way of finding them, oh, it just doesn't bode well. Yep, I think we'll have to pull out of here and risk the fun again. Yes, I'm going to lose my progress, but yeah. Yeah, it sucks, but what can you do? But on the bright side, I'll know early to get my cloak on so I'm not at ground zero of everybody blowing me into bits. Continue. Oops. Guess what? My cloak's not ready. Bad figures. Come on, come on. Ooh, that was too close. Okay, let's see. We've got 2 groups over there. And no idea where the 3rd group is. Meanwhile, our Federation fleet is sitting there again. No, wait. I think they're engaging the... Yes, another group over there. Okay, so it's 2 diagonal of the planet to start with. We are going to stick around near the fleet here, because they look like they know what they're doing. I might not necessarily immediately die. Let's come around. Up the power. Kill the cloak. Hope they don't wipe me out immediately. While I'm at it, let's get the hull heals going on, because I'm going to need them. Oh, there's the Axon again. Well, we're going to let the Axon try to get beat up by some... Okay, fine. We'll do it that way then. Probably crazy to do a fire at will with all these ships around and getting aggro, but why do the same thing now? You know, in hindsight, that probably wasn't a better movie. Let's close.
Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
Okay, Axon is disabled. That's good. Yes, thank you, Tovin. I know. Let's leave that alone. We have bigger fish to fry. I gotta admit, this fight really is turning out to be a lot rougher than I would have expected. I wonder if that's because they never retuned it, since they took it out of the whole major story arc. Keep firing the guy behind me a little bit before I shift targets, because I like to make sure that he follows me so I don't lose track of him. Okay, awesome. I think this might be the last guy. It's amazing how much simpler this went when I actually had the back of the ride. Thank you, Starfleet vessels. You were a lot better than the group I originally came with. Alright, the away team is standing by. Let's beam aboard and see what's on tap there. I mean, besides angry Cardassians. Wouldn't you be angry if your ship was disabled and you were being boarded by Romulans? Of course, you could make a case for the Cardassians always being a little angry. Not epically angry, because, you know, that's the Klingons' hat, but close enough. There we go. Once we get past that 30% load, it always goes much faster. Windows progress bars in action. Cardassian security teams are already starting to move in on our position. We should expect heavy resistance. I will take that seriously and swap up to the rifle. For a minute I thought I saw a harvestable over here. I'm gonna resist scanning for it because otherwise I know I'll go for him. Okay, drone 1, drone 2, mortar. So far, so good. They may be heavy resistance, but they're not nearly as tough as their ships are. Chocolate. Alright, continuing on our way. The point here is to reach the bridge. Through this wonderfully well-designed starship. And, oh look, more Cardassians. Let's do the interior orbital strikes. Oops. Let's avoid the grenades. That roll, sometimes it works great in avoiding grenades, sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes there's a delay when you enter the command to do that. So sometimes it happens before the grenade arrives, and sometimes the grenade arrives, blows you up, and then you roll. Excellent example right there. And yet I keep trying because, you know, a possible attempt is better than not attempting at all. Most of the time I get hit to the roll. Yeah, that's what usually happens to me too. I'm trying to roll, but it's just a little bit too late. But you know, you try things, and sometimes they work. Even if they usually don't. All security measures have been taken care of, us at the bridge. The Cardassians won't give up easily. They will probably send more security teams. Well, yeah. Let's not keep them waiting. And here we've got a couple more. If I weren't moving all the time, I would probably set up more of the fabrications, but if you're not having a major battle, you usually only have time to slap down one fabrication before things start going ugly. Whoa. I don't know what those were, but since they've got the Cardassians looking the other way... Okay, I'm exaggerating slightly. I obviously know what they are, but let's try to stay within the game. Oh, how dare you heal on me like that. The only people allowed to heal in this mission is me. Well, my bridge crew, technically. Oh right, I forgot I had someone using the freeze ray again. Did I see that? Yeah, it was hard to miss, Tovin. Oh, let's check out the dead Cardassian. Not to be confused with the other dead Cardassians who have despawned. This Cardassian doesn't have any wounds on him, but readings show he was dead before we entered the room. Let's get a medkit to perform an examination on the corpse. Now, you know, I would hope that my loyal away team would have brought medical supplies here. Yeah, Varsel's almost as bad as Tovin is as far as pointing out the obvious. He looks like a dead Cardassian. Thanks. We need to know what happened to him. If he was attacked by those creatures, we need to be cautious. Any contact may be lethal. Alright then, let's see what we can find out. Unfortunately, this room probably doesn't have anything useful. Let's see what's in the other two rooms. We're going to pretend that I don't see the big big green circles, and there were more of those blue things again. And there it was again. Thank you, Tovin. I'm glad you're here to tell me this. See what I mean? Tovin is #1 when it comes to pointing out the glaringly obvious. I keep telling myself sooner or later I'm going to replace him as my first officer, but it'll happen sooner or later. Something wrong with the environmentals on this ship. Sure, you can keep telling yourself that. Investigate dead Cardassian again. Same cause as the one in the mess hall. We need a medkit. And we conveniently seem to now have a medkit. Sterilized and ready to use. Let's see the tools. Of course, it says that we should probably study the medical records of other bodies in stasis. Oh, is that what's in those rooms? And get ready to do a detailed examination. Alright then. Let's start at the top level here. Read the patient records. Admitted with laceration, used an auto suture, released, returned, had a headache, high body temperature, nausea, white cell count elevated, was in sick bay, infection spread, standard treatment, not so good, circulatory system failure resulting from sepsis. Ooh, that's a bad way to go. Prep for transport back to Cardassia Prime. Okay, what have you got to say? Pain and inability to concentrate. Treated with hydrocortisone. Thank God, a drug that sounds, relatively simple to pronounce. And told to rest. Psychological evaluation scheduled. Came back later. Still having problems. Got a larger dose. Fell unconscious. Couldn't be revived. Attempted using a Neuralite probe to obtain a sample of brain tissue. Ugh. Didn't show any signs of infection or trauma. I feel like I'm doing CSI Starfleet. Tell CBS that there's a series concept that might be worth getting money off of. Doesn't CSI go with CBS to begin with? It seems like it would be a great match. Nausea and fatigue. Overnight observation. Died. Quarantined. Possibly infectious. Autopsy with a laser scalpel to open the chest cavity. No signs of trauma or infection. And again, cause of death undetermined. Well, either there's a real mystery going on, or the Cardassian doctors are as dumb as stumps. I am withholding judgment. Fractured tibia while on the holodeck. Splinted, treated with regenerator. Returned later complaining of pain. Got a T-cell stimulator to stave off infection. Condition worsened. Died. Big shock. Cause of death yet to be determined yet again. I half expect to find that one of these dead people was the CMO. It feels like it would be the icing on the cake. Have I gotten all the, nope, there's one more patient. Oh, there we are. One more patient record. Plasma burn. Created with a protoplasr. Hey, I remember one of those. We used that during the one of the Cold Wars missions. Had a neurological event resembling a cerebrovascular accident. Further examination pending an autopsy. Okay, we've gotten everything we can off of this, so I'm going to assume that we can look at this guy again, use the med kit, and now we have a whole bunch of tools to play with. Since these guys didn't have any visible injuries, we're going to start with the Neuralite probe. Makes use of stabilized biological enzymes to cleave tissue samples from the brain or the nervous system. Significantly lowers the trauma experienced by the patient and minimizes the amount of time necessary to recover from the procedure. Well, he's dead, so he's not going to really notice. This tool should give us a better insight into the cause of death for the Cardassian in the mess hall. If we can get a sample of the brain tissue, we can determine the cause of death. That sounds like a great idea. Can I get these guys? Can I save myself the walk? The Neuralite probe has determined that this individual died from a radical decrease in neural energy, like he was drained from an outside source. All the brain's activity came to a complete stop since energy was depleted. And we are now getting a lot of interference, the result of an energy residue from whatever was used to do this to the Cardassian. We might be able to track it down using the science lab across from the med bay. So yeah, we can use the internal sensors. Because I'm sure that, there's no such thing as computer security with passwords and the like on future computers. Of course not. Okay, we've got a lot of different types of energy to scan, so let's go down the list. Electroplasma. Used by species for transferring power. Well, let's just scan. High levels, but it's not surprising since Cardassians use poorly shielded EPS relays. This does not shock me. Nuclear fission. Sure, why not? It's a common source of energy for non-spacefaring races. Well, that's good though, because, if it's not common, that means if we can find anything, that'll definitely point to a problem. No reactions. Okay, so much for that one. Omega energy. All information is classified. Hey, I just got back from the freaking Dyson here. You should tell me these things. There are no Omega molecules anywhere inside the ship. Captain, what are Omega molecules? Parcel, you're fired. Polaric ions. Highly volatile. It seems unlikely, but we'll scan for them anyway. On the ship. So, big shock. Our one hope left is the last option on the list. Really, I could have saved myself a whole lot of trouble just by going from the bottom up. Result of a process called selective molecular polarization. Not used by any known species because they cause deterioration of living tissue. Well, that does kind of sound like what we're seeing here, isn't it? We're getting a heap of these things around the bridge. We won't be able to stick around long. Cardassians will be subject to effects as well. They wouldn't use it knowingly. I think we have an answer, so now it's time to go to the bridge and expect trouble. Okay, I saw that. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I'm beginning to envy Starfleet. Surely their officers aren't so crazy as to point out the glaringly obvious. Okay, well, I can see on the radar that we have a large number of potential problems ahead. So let's get some of the battlefield prepped by getting my drones out here. And we are going to put our turret here. And another turret here. Let them start opening fire. Back up a bit. Slap down my shield generator. and my medical generator, and we are ready to go. And boy, aren't these ugly guys. Ah, I picked up the dribble. What was I thinking? I gotta get rid of that thing before it kills my chocolate. I can't let it take my chocolate, that's just too good. Okay, more guys over there. Let's do an interior orbital blast. Even though, you know, I'm indoors, but I'm still going to cause an orbital strike. Oh, these guys aren't so tough. Oops, I may have erred. Yeah, no, they do, they do. Okay, let's get some additional help here. Let's bring out my friendly Horto. Ooh, they're bypassing my shields. Okay, I take back all the things I was saying about these guys. These guys are a little tougher than they look. Let's see if I can draw this one over here and range my turrets. Let's try to encourage him by getting his immediate targets out of the area. You guys cannot work your way out of a paper bag, can you? Okay, fine. We'll just have to move the mountain, so to speak. Next set of drones. We should win this battle soon, though, because there we go, and ooh, it's nice and bright in here again. Let's grab all the stuff that were dropped I didn't even see because of the horrible lighting. There's no mistaking them now. Those were Davidians. Folks who might remember that two-parter with back in the, I can't remember if it was the 19th or 20th century when they found Data's head. Long story. What's curious is that they are out of phase with us. And normally we can't see them without a subspace force field tuned to an extremely sensitive phase discriminator. So how are they appearing in this reality? We should check crew logs. You know, that is actually a decent idea. I'm kind of surprised you suggested it. So let us see what the folks had to say before they all ended up dead. Captain's log. That sounds appropriate.
Our mission goes well.
Ooh,
The Axon has disabled or destroyed 7 enemy ships. I look forward to reporting our successes.
I believe it, considering how much butt the Axon's kicking.
It is his job to be concerned. Mine is to operate this ship at peak efficiency. I have read his report about unexplained deaths and dismissed it. There is always an explanation. He simply hasn't looked hard enough for it. I cannot let his failings disrupt our mission. Gola Dread is looking for men of purpose to assist him. He wants leaders with the will to
where have I
use
heard that
whatever means are
before?
necessary to free our people from Federation tyranny. If all goes well, after this campaign, I will be seen as one of those leaders.
I don't think he was the true way guy that we were fighting. Okay, let's see what the chief engineer had to say.
Repairs to the accident was expected. Running low on deteriorating workflows. Wish there was more time between rounds to develop patch critical systems. Time is the most precious commodity. 4 crewmen down. 1 died in battle with my forces, but 3 others died in accidents. I have spoken to the captain about launching an investigation, but he sees nothing but his dreams of glory and return to conquest.
Yeah, that's a Cardassian captain with an ego, alright.
Must speak to Dryala and see if his sensor readings have turned up any blood. Letter from Maja arrived today. She and the children. But she worries. She wants me to leave truly and return to Cardassian Prime. 6 months ago, I would have known this. And I see no end to this fight. Perhaps she is right.
Humbling reminder that these were people too. The science officer will hopefully have information that's actually useful.
Science Officer's Log, starting 86790.8. My duties on a combat mission are limited, but I was pleased today to have a chance to scan the approaching Griffin's Comet. The comet itself has not been a focus of much scientific inquiry, and it last passed through this sector in the late 23rd century. My scans, however, reveal surprising amounts of triolic wave energy emitting from the comet, as well as detectable amounts of chronoton particles. The triolic waves will unfortunately prevent a closer study of the comet. They are quite harmful to humanoid life forms, and the captain is loath to jeopardize our mission for my curiosity.
So
I have requested the launch of a Class 1 probe.
this Griffin's Comet seems to be
The
a potential
chronotons
issue.
are of even greater interest. They appear in instances of temporal disturbances, which could mean that this comet has been, or will be, in the presence of a temporal event. Time mechanics are so cumbersome.
I hear that.
Must have more data. The captain has never had much interest in science. Perhaps I will remind him that chronoton particles are harmful against the aliens who live in the Bajoran wormhole. A potential weapon to use against the Bajoran's gods may be of enough interest to you to divert our course.
Oh, somebody's still carrying a grudge. Okay, well, we seem to have found out what we could. We need to report this to Romulan Command and our allies in Starfleet. I got no problems with that. They were actually, the second group of Starfleet ships were helpful. We're going to say nothing about the first group. These battlegrounds are now their feeding grounds. Oh, that's a pleasant thought. Let's have a chat with Mr. Drake.
Are you sure you found no sign of the Cardassians attempting to open a portal, or otherwise bring the Davidians into our phase variance? This is troublesome. There are pieces to the puzzle I don't have yet. Let me do some digging and I will be in touch.
Oh joy. Okay, time to choose those rewards. I'm going to take a quick peek to see what my current shield is and see if this is any better. Yes? Yes it is. So we are going to go ahead and
Until
take
next
the
time.
phase shifted shield as opposed to the subspace whatever, modulator or whatever it was. Considering how often I use devices on my ship, it's probably a better choice. While we're here, let's take a look at the other crew members. Are there any upgrades that are screaming for use? We can replace. No, yep, common, uncommon shield. I'm still going to leave Tovin where he is. He's still using a blue 11, and that's. Oh, this is a blue 12. Okay, well, upgrade. And Varsal, who honestly doesn't deserve anything, but everybody is using. Okay, well, I don't know if I want to replace Tovin's 11 because it's green and it's. We'll leave that alone. We'll just leave it alone. And the rest will be sales bait at some point. Oh, right, I forgot all about the Administrivia. I did have some reputations that were cooking, so let's continue on. We'll grab the Romulan reputation and the Dyson reputation. I believe the Dyson reputation should take me to... Did I ever claim 2? Yeah, I guess I didn't claim tier 2 on that, so I'm still working on tier 3. Alright. Which brings us to the next mission of this Spectre arc. Spin the wheel. No voice for this one. How unusual. I'm not sure I can get the right tone of his voice, but we'll find out. I need your assistance with a rather delicate situation. We have an intelligent Okay, I already blew that. I can't do the tone of voice and get all the words right. We have an intelligence operative undercover at Rosanna Station. See, I said that was going to become important momentarily. Her astute observations have given us the edge in several critical engagements in the neutral zone. 22 hours ago, this operative activated an emergency subspace beacon. Zamara would only contact me in this manner if she was about to be discovered by the enemy or her life was in danger. I am understandably concerned. I need you to go to Durzana, find Zamara, and assist her. Take her to safety if you have to, but don't blow her cover. If you go in there weapons blazing, you may get her killed. I've accessed your logs. It's been quite some time since you had some sort of me. How did he get into my logs? Who is this guy? I suggest you visit Durzana for some downtime. Alright, we have the usual XP, XPs, and dilithium combo, and a choice of interesting possibilities. A warp core, which is useless to me because I'm flying Romulan ships. A field stabilizing singularity core, which might actually be of use. Let's see what I'm using right now. Yeah, I'm still using my really, really old Mark 8. So there's a very strong temptation to ditch this singularity core and get a better one. On the other hand, we have this strange device called a synchronic proton distortion prototype assault rifle. Now that sure sounds interesting. Proton damage, anti-proton damage. Surely there is a reason it's here. I wonder what that could be.
Until next time.
But for now, to Durzana. Or as a Frankie would say, welcome to Durzana! I just can't emulate a Frankie that good. I probably should have read the blurb on that. Oh well. There will be other times. Many other times. And you know, I think that maybe they've had a little trouble with the upkeep here. I mean, look at it. It is literally falling apart.
Welcome to Durzana. You're cleared for docking. We have everything you need for shore leave, and a few things that you didn't even know you wanted. Shopping, drinking, dining, entertainment. You'll find it all here. And don't forget the 77th rule of acquisition. If you break it, I'll charge you for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ferengi. Unlike some maps, however, I am beaming down alone. And that's because Durzana is kind of a social station as well as a mission location. For a while, it was literally the only neutral territory for the Klingon Empire and Federation to be on the same map. Not sure where we should start, but intelligence shows that the land is the Ferengi to talk to if you're looking for information. He's a bartender, of course he is. So we should look for him in the lounge area. Now, as I said, this is pretty much an open zone for the Klingons and the Federation, and pretty much everybody now, since the game's expanded dramatically in time since all this first came out. It's got all the amenities. You've got your mail, you've got your bank, you've got Taylor up there. You may have seen that ship selector.
4.7% discount for the next 3 minutes.
We've got stuff that you can buy for commodities and the like. And we've got drinks. And look, there's Balan, and I've got a couple options. I can either question him, or talk to him, or talk to the bartender. That's right, I have 3 different options, which are all roughly the same thing. I love this guy's cave. I wonder if that's one of the reputation booklet stuff. I'll have to look into that sometime. Alright. Let's question.
Welcome to Drosana Station, the home of the finest libations and pleasures this side of Rex. Care to hear about today's specials?
Got any information?
Have you tried the Comet Cocktail? It's out of this world.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking for somebody.
Aren't we all? Me? I want a leggy Vulcan with a liberal attitude toward interspecies relations. So, are you looking for someone in particular, or just some company?
Oh, it's nice to see that the Ferengi remain consistent. Her name is Amara. You know of her?
Oh yeah, I know Samara. Maybe she's been here recently, and maybe she hasn't. My memory is kind of hazy.
It is so very tempting to go with that first option here. I'm not a Klingon, Bill, and I'm not likely to resort to snapping someone's spine as a threat. And let's face it, this is a Ferengi. There's one language that they speak fluently.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
deal.
sure we can. In fact, I feel my memory clearing up already. I tell you what, I know you new Romulan types don't usually have two slips of Latinum to rub together.
That's new
But
Romulus.
what you do have are skills and a willingness to get your hands dirty. That's what I need right now. Our replicators are on the fritz. Maybe it's a whole power system because the lights are going wonky too. But a little blue mood lighting isn't as big a problem
that's
for
not a
me
good
as
sign.
unfilled drink orders.
That is not a good sign. And now that I think about it, the last time I was on Drosana, there were new flashing lights. That's a
Go
bad
to the
sign.
cargo bay and get my replicators working. By the time you're done, I'm sure I will have remembered where I last saw Zamara.
Now, once upon a time, to get to the area that you had to fix the replicators, it was in its own instance. So, you know, you interacted with the door and you had another loading screen. But somewhere along the line, they did a redesign of Drosana to what it is now, and they moved it onto the same map. And you can tell how many people do the Spectres mission these days by the fact that there is nobody in here. Once upon a time, you would definitely see people running around here doing their thing, trying to figure this stuff out. Ah, the tragedy. Let's see, replicators. Let's run the diagnostic. Of course not, they're offline. Diminished function in the electroplasma distribution network. Let's diagnose that. 30% power drop. They need to fix the power fluctuations. What's the cause? Unknown. Thank you, computer. What do we need to do? We have to route through systems to relieve strain on the conduits, using the following, well, potentially the following systems: holosuites, gravity control, replicators, environmental controls, and the defense grid. And we need to make 6 connections. This feels like a smart idea. Let's hail the engineering team, see what they have to say. Biggest problem is that everything is ancient and lack of maintenance. This does not shock me. It was built in mid-23rd century. Many of the systems haven't had a major update in more than a century. So we're dealing with something that just can't handle the load. We did get a log by a Starfleet Corps of Engineers officer who visited the station back in the early 24th and made repairs. Regulate it by routing power through various subsystems, like circuit breakers. So, scan damaged systems, power couplings, learn more how to realign the relays, and all is well in Mudville. Let's scan. Wires and cables that look like they've been chewed on by voles. Yeah, not every system may need to be used. Some systems may need to make more than one connection. Okay, let's scan the power relays. It looks like replicator function was their top priority, so it's tied into just about everything. This is where you start, or the connection will fail. So, replicators are step 1. Let's look at the gravity controls. Outdated power coupling connected to the main power feed. Been here so long that the coupling is fused and can't be removed. It can connect to environmental control and defense grid, but not the replicators. So already you can see that this is going to turn into a logical problem. Environmental and defense, but not the replicators. Which means, oh, someone else is actually doing this mission. Who'd have thunk it? Let's see what the holosuites are involved with. They have a separate control, so they can be finely tuned for temperature conditions appropriate to the scenarios running at any given time. The environmental control cannot connect here. How about this one? Environmental control power relays. Found a way to keep the bar coolers working by connecting the cooling system to the replicators. Unless that connection is maintained, all the refrigeration units will go offline. The replicators must have a connection to the environmental controls. Well, awesome. So we know that these two are linked. Defense grid. The Klingons who ran the station in the early 24th century made improvements. Oh, great. Klingons had this station. Great. I guess I should have guessed it from some of the interior. Well, it made it defensible, it increased the amount of energy. The fourth connection must be to the defense grid, so we know that this has to be number 4. Oh, we have something over here. There's a shunt, slowly diverting energy from the power core to the hollow emitters installed in some of the lower levels of the station. You need to compensate for the drain to restore replicator function. The connection must end with the system to which you are attempting to restore power. So it looks like that we will be beginning and ending with the replicators. Now there seems to be one more thing around here somewhere. A box. Power couplings. And this is telling me nothing new. 6 connections required to stabilize the power grid. Alright. So. Here's what we know. 6 connections required. The 4th must be the defense grid. You have to start with the replicators, and you have to end with the replicators. Gravity controls can go to environmental and defense, but not replicators. And the replicators must be connected to the environmental controls. Environmental controls cannot connect to the holosuites. So, let's make connection number 1. We know it's going to be the replicators. Now, the replicators must have a connection to the environmental controls, so let's hit the environmental controls. Now, the third one is going to be the tricky one. We know that the 4th one has to be the defense grid, so we need something that will work with the defense grid, and that's gravity control. So let's go to the gravity control. Where did I see gravity control? Right over here. And then we have to go all the way over here to the defense grid. Now, it says it had to end with the replicator, and I think that we're going to have to go again to the environmental controls. finally to the replicator. And the replicators are online. So let's go back to the Ferengi bartender, tell him his replicators are fixed. Tell us where to find Zamara. There's a lot to
Don't worry, the table isn't rigged anymore.
Get your
Must not
common
shoot them in neutral
cocktails.
territory.
4.7% discount for the next 3 minutes.
report.
Welcome to Drosana Station, the home of the finest.
Yes,
Have
yes,
you
yes,
tried
your
the
replicators
common
were working.
cocktail? They are, and I am exceedingly pleased by your generous offer to repair them for no compensation. I can't let you go away empty-handed, though. How about I give you a 15% discount on drinks and souvenirs for an amount of time to be determined by management?
Yeah, how about the, Zamara?
Fine. A deal's a deal, right? Never let it be said that I'll cheat a valued customer like yourself. Personally, I don't know why you're so interested in her. She's a looker, but just try talking to her. She's more paranoid than an Obsidian Order agent in a room full of Tal Shiar. Zamara usually hangs out near the Dabo tables. Keep an eye out for a looker wearing purple. You can't miss her.
Awesome.
Good tea.
So she's been in this general vicinity the entire time. Next time, I'm just going to ask Drake to give me a picture first, and I'll just look on my own.
Be careful. They're watching.
Yeah, who's watching?
I'm not in the mood for a chat right now, thanks.
They who?
Shh. Keep your voice down. I'm being watched. I've seen too many familiar faces in the crowd, and there are shadows, watchers in the dark. I see them out of the corner of my eye when they think I'm not looking, but I'm always looking. When the lights change, there they are.
I think he's gone poop.
Watch yourself. They're everywhere.
I was sent to help.
You weren't sent to help me. You were sent to watch me. Drake needs me to keep feeding information to Starfleet intelligence. The Klingons come here and they drink and they talk. It's amazing the bits of information you can pick up around a Dabo table. Everything, even the smallest detail, is important. Captain Gerard was in here last week. He ordered blood wine, an entire bottle of the 2309 vintage,
Makes the
to be
universe
exact.
go round.
That business with the House of Torg must have upset him more than we knew. When Gerard's happy, he drinks Warnog.
Well, she's definitely an intel person, knowing those kind of details.
Watch yourself. They're everywhere.
What happened about this whole House of Torg thing? I'm kind of curious.
Torg was on the High Council until he made a play to destroy the House of Martok. He was partially successful. Maven, son of Drex, is dead. The house has no heir unless Drex takes a new mate and fathers a new son. But Martok's widow is wise. Her son, Drex, was off fighting in the war, so Lady Sorella called in KDF officers to defend her house. They exposed Torg's treachery, and Jempok was forced to discommendate him. As to why that would make Gerard unhappy, Torg raised Gerard
Okay,
after
that's
his
not
mother
good.
died. Now he is an outcast, and his house has fallen. Gerard cannot speak to him without losing his own honor.
Now, for those curious, that little bit of dialogue matches up with goings-on for the Klingon adventure. And perhaps somewhere along the line I'll do that sometime in the future because, well, it's the year of the Klingon and they've been doing some revamps on that stuff. And I'm not entirely sure how much of this is even accurate anymore.
Watch yourself. They're everywhere.
Okay, what can I do to help you?
Find out who's watching me. I'm not safe here. The Klingons are looking for me. They know someone has been feeding intelligence to Starfleet. The ghosts are always watching. Their eyes are hungry. Yesterday, they surrounded a drunken Klingon. Now he's dead. They will find me when the blue light shines, and then I'll disappear.
Yeah, I think I know what they are. I haven't seen them now.
How could you know that? You may think you know. You may even have readings in your tricorder that you think are right, but you don't know. How could you know? I'm here every day. They watch me, and I watch catch them.
Yeah, I think he was a psychiatric re-examination. Maybe
No,
someone's safe.
they're everywhere. They're watching. You've been here too long. Someone will notice that we're together. Go do something else. Play Dabo. I'll contact you when I'm ready. When it's safe.
Okay. Do I have any latinum? I don't know if I've ever done a Dabo thing here, so... No, I do not. So it looks like I'll be using cash. Dabo,
Spin the wheel and win.
for those unfamiliar, is basically roulette. Well, it's not really roulette. It does involve spinning. I could go through the whole tutorial here, but I'm not sure anybody really wants to go through the whole detail. If you want to know how to do Dabo, head to here, head to DS9. They'll have tutorials available. We're just gonna play. I need to place a bet. 100 sounds good. I can choose 3 slots at almost random. I'm going to grab these slots because why not? I'm going to place my bet. And basically, if I get 2 in a row or 3 in a row for a symbol that matches the slot, I win stuff. And depending on the symbols or the colors or what have you, they may be big wins or they may not be.
Dabo!
That, I'm pretty sure that none of those were a Dabo.
Close enough. I couldn't wait for you to get that lucky. We would have been here all night.
Okay.
Zamara wants me to give you a message.
Of course.
Let
Spy
you
stuff.
know. If you're interested in finding out what's really going on here at Drazana Station, you need to check out the lower levels. I have an access code for you that will get you past the security
Oh,
doors.
it's a hologram too. I
If
should
you
have
want
guessed
to
that.
talk with her again, I suggest you collect your winnings and catch her before she leaves.
Sure, I'll grab my whopping 45 Latin. And, well, she hasn't moved much, has she? For someone who's
I'm not in the
paranoid.
mood for a chat right now, thanks.
Are you sure?
You don't need to worry about me. I'm going to leave this place to the ghosts. They seem to belong here more than we do. I've booked passage on a ship. You don't need to know which one. Just tell Drake. He'll keep getting his intel, one way or another. Good luck. You're going to need it. What?
Well, there were Davidians in the Donadu system, and now we found them on Drazana. They're using the neutral zone as some kind of feeding ground that puts dozens of worlds at risk. Varsal? That's not Varsal. Sometimes I really think they need to work on some of the bugs in here. Got a request. We've requested sensor data from the ships closest to the comet's closest current location for analysis, but it's only half the problem. If the properties of the comet are easing Davidian entry into this area of space, how do we stop them? Now that is Varsal. Closest research facility is on Deep Space K7. So let's go to K7. Now K7 may sound familiar to you.
Welcome to Drazana.
Yes, yes, yes. We're leaving. Once upon a time, they were having all kinds of problems with grain and certain small furry animals that purr all the time that eat and eat and eat and reproduce. Yes, I believe that this is the origin of the Trouble with Tribbles episode. If memory serves, of course. Now the good news is it's pretty close by. Six light years in closing, and nope. Okay, I might be incorrect actually, because I'm pretty sure K7 didn't look like that. Oh, nope, but it is. Here we go. Orbits Sherman's planet, which is the location. continues to be a hub of strange events and occasional triple sightings. Yes, this is most definitely the place. They must have done a lot of rework the 23rd century today. Would I like to talk? Why, yes. Yes, I would. Or at the very least, I'd like to beam over. Now, this station is a throwback to way back when. That's an interactable door. I'm kind of curious. What happens if I interact with it? Lift to the admin office. You know, I'm not sure I've ever actually been in this room. Or maybe I have, actually. Oh, you might have noticed over there, Commander Naomi Wildman. That should be a name that's familiar to folks who watch the Star Trek Voyager series. Well, we're going to leave that alone for now. Well, looks like I've been recognized. Now, also, is there anyone else to note? I want to say that if I go over here, maybe not. Maybe it's a different station. I lose track. There was stuff that, and of course, there may be things that were removed from the game too, which is also. Anyway. I'm digressing. Ooh, it's a scannable on one of these stations. I can't believe it. I can't pass that up. Alright, I'm looking for Lieutenant Calapo, and it looks like Calapo is over here. Now you may notice there's this guy here with a quest sign. I think he might be associated with the diplomacy mission, which is a duty officer kind of thing, originating back when diplomacy was its own thing, not part of the duty officers. Alright, research lab. And, oh, that looks bad. There's someone who's not in a good way there. Lieutenant!
How can I help you?
Oh, who are you?
I grew up on trading ships, making supply runs in the Bolian sector. It was exciting, but it was crazy too. I never knew where I was going to be, or if my parents were going to have enough latinum to keep the ship flying. Then there was that time with the Orion pirates, and let's just say it wasn't the best environment for a child. All I've ever wanted was stability. I used to envy the kids on the colony worlds we served. For a while, I even thought about becoming a farmer. I wanted to wake up at the same time every day, go to the same job every day, even eat the same food most days.
Yeah, that's Starfleet right there.
Starbase. It has
routine,
a little bit of unpredictability,
except when things go to
every night my brothers are there waiting for me, and they're always in the same place. Good luck, and stay safe.
So, you know Franklin Drake?
I have had dealings with him in the past. I think he's some sort of military strategist. He visits here from time to time, although Commander Wildman is never too thrilled to see him. He's always treated me well, though, so I don't have any reason to dislike him. Good luck, and stay safe.
So what did he ask you to do?
Mostly he wants updates on our research projects. Last week he was asking me all sorts of questions about the synchronic distortion prototype rifle. We work with prototypes of new equipment here. I'll bang on something for months to find out all of its advantages and problems before it's sent into the field to be used by Starfleet. Even then, it takes years or more of testing and iteration before something becomes standard fleet issue. And most equipment never makes it that far.
So he's basically R&D.
There are hundreds of inventions that just don't work, or they don't work the way we want them to. Those failures are then broken down and their components are recycled. We have to keep everything secure. If the Romulans or the Klingons got their hands on what we are working on here, they could learn a lot about our technology.
I'm going to try not to take that personally.
Good luck, and stay safe.
So tell me about that rifle.
That was a complete disaster.
Whoa.
The basic design came out of Memory Alpha, and it was intended to
Memory
detect
Alpha.
and damage cloaked opponents.
Once upon a
Someone there
time.
got an idea that the Romulans were developing personal cloaking devices, even though the power needs of something like that would be incredible. I recommended against sending it to field testing, but it went anyway. The crew on the USS DeWitt had some luck in modifying one for use as a hand weapon, but their prototype was destroyed when the ship was lost in the neutral zone. I hadn't thought about it again until Drake asked about it. Good luck, and stay safe.
Yeah, do you know there's Davidians here?
So that explains why Drake was interested in the prototype. It was a complete failure at detecting polarization cloaks, but if I added a phase modulator and reversed the polarity,
Of course,
these
versus polarity
modifications
is
should be no
everything.
problem. And when I'm done, this beam will pack quite a punch against phase-shifted Davidians. I'll forward the weapon on to Drake as soon as I'm done. Be careful. The Davidians won't stop. I'm afraid we'll have to be ready to fight. Good luck.
Okay, we've done what we can for Zamara. We have the info we need about the Davidians. The lieutenant is working on a weapon we can use to fight. Let's report back to Drake, see what he's got to say. And while he's never very forthcoming, we can find out more we know about him and his operations and find out more about Section 31, which is handy. Oh, and look, food unlocked. I can now purchase Comet cocktails at Rosanna Station. And that doesn't really sound very fancy, but I'm pretty sure that if you feed them to a tribble, that you might get some interesting results. In the meantime, there's no sense in sticking around here. No, we're not going to stick around. We just want to chat with you-know-who.
Good work. Zamara may think she has slipped my noose, but I always have ways of keeping tabs on her. I take special care to know all about people in whom I have an interest. But you already know that, don't you? The
Subtle.
ghosts that Zamara mentioned concern me, however. You already encountered Davidians once. It's likely they're on Drazana Station as well. And I won't let them use Federation
Or
citizens as food. Lieutenant Calapo has completed work on the synchronic distortion prototype rifle. It should help you when you're ready to enter the lower levels of Drazana. Drake out.
Alright. Notice anything interesting about this episode? If you said nobody got shot, you'd be correct. I was wrong the last time I mentioned it. This is a second episode where there was absolutely no fighting involved. Just puzzle solving and doing a bit of travel.
Until next time.
And now, one of my personal favorites, although I liked it a lot more when it first came out because, well, you'll find, we'll go into detail about that as we go along. What lies beneath? To put it into proper perspective, this mission was introduced on Halloween. That was probably not a coincidence.
It's clear the Davidians are more of a problem than we initially thought. We know they're in the neutral zone. Now we know they're on Drazana Station as well, and according to Zamara, there have already been deaths there. In addition, she indicated that the lower levels of the station were a trouble spot. Those levels aren't used as part of the club there, and they haven't been maintained for years, and Ferengi are, of course, quite reticent to put any effort into maintenance that isn't absolutely necessary. That means we
That would
don't
cost
really
money.
know
Why
what's
would they do
down
that?
there. Zamara's code should get you access. Take a lift down and check it out. Previous Starfleet encounters with Davidians have indicated that they will create nests around the temporal portals they use, so keep an eye out for anomalies. If we find the portal, we'll know where and when the Davidians are feeding. Oh, and I expect it to be messy down there. Don't forget to take an emergency beacon.
Comforting thought, isn't it? Standard rewards, experience, expertise at lithium, and a triolic pattern enhancer. It's basically something that'll give at least a little bit of damage resistance. That is really a pathetic amount of damage resistance. I hope the thing scales with the level.
Until next time.
Now you'll have also noticed that there was a repair mission that is available from Franklin Creek at this point. We're going to ignore that one for now. Perhaps to fill in some time at a future date. However, for now, it's off to Rosanna once more. And we're going to take a shortcut here by taking on my quantum slipstream. I really should use this more frequently now that I've got it available. Go to Rosanna. We'll close in. Wait for Frankie
Welcome to Rosanna.
Thank you. And beam in. Now, before we get started, we're going to replace my standard rifle with the new toy. After all, they say it's anti-Davidian. I'd be foolish not to take advantage of it. An interesting look, isn't it? So we're going to use this panel and see what lies beneath. Standard crew complement. And down we go. Reading temporal fluctuations and triolic energy in these levels of the station. Staying down here for too long could be hazardous. The interference also may make it difficult to contact the ship or get a transporter lock if we need an emergency beam out. This level primarily contains power junctions and EPS conduits for the rooms above us. We need to reach the maintenance lift and take that down to the computer core. Now, to be honest, they've really nerfed this episode. It used to be a lot darker in here. Like, need flashlight dark. And flashlight wasn't this good either back in those days either. So, you know, yeah, take an emergency flashlight. Okay, sure. We'll ignore the fact that I already have one. Isn't just lying around, probably bartered with a pirate for it. I recognize these flashlight drones. Hands-free hover system, program the ship's response to your movement. Not the most reliable design, though. And now I have 2 flashlights floating. But on the bright side, my crew have their own now, so I can't complain much. Oh, now that's the kind of darkness I was expecting. Although we're still having more light than we're used to. Triolic waves. There must be veins nearby. As we approach the area with greatest concentration, of triolic waves we will see more. We're picking up indeterminate readings from behind the door to our left. Interference are making it hard to get accurate scans from the distance. So let's see what's behind door number 1. Up, a dead body is. Whoa! And the flashlights went out. Well, not everybody's flashlights. Probably because they just stepped in the room. Ferengi suffered from triolic radiation poisoning. He's been here for a while. Even if they couldn't use his neural energy, it's still too dangerous. This close to the nest. Nothing we can do for him now. Can't even beam him out. We can notify security if we, find them afterward. Hopefully. Now what's this? Something I can interact with. Power distribution. They're having intermittent power problems. Big shock there, right? I mean, they couldn't even keep their replicators working. It's an old station. Components are more than a century old. We're getting triolic surges near the maintenance lift, but nothing that we can consistently track. Oh, there's the blue again. Okay, this door's not opening. Looks like we gotta go back out the way we came. I don't think I can do anything on this side, but it goes with the try. Alright, let's see. This door is stuck. We'll have to find another way around. One of the side maintenance passages should have an alternate route. Whoa, what's that? Oh! Looks like we have some vermin in here. Oh, now notice here, because I'm an engineer, I can reroute the hydraulic coupling and get this door open. Which means we're skipping one of the really scary things. Who says I have to skip it? Let's head down this other passage, which is where most people have to go. Ooh, good thing I went this way. Scannable item. Must harvest. Must harvest. Whoa! Near miss. See, that came when it was nice and really dark in here. That really makes a guy jump. Like I said, they really nerfed the lighting. Let's scan the gas and include that with my many harvested stuff. Let's see, is there anything to the south? A dead end. I didn't think there was anything there, but that one is complete. And we can't go that way because we have debris in the way. And that brings us to the other side of the door there. Up to more Davidians. I'm seeing red. I think we have more spiders. Yep. Itsy Bitsy is coming around, but not nearly enough of them. Now, luckily, it doesn't seem like we have too many problems between here and there. Oops! It's time. Yeah, if you look at the way this thing fires, and if you think that reminds you of certain ghost-busting weaponry, that's probably intentional. Who you gonna call? Let's get that drop. Ooh, more chocolate. The Davidians are getting more aggressive. They could have a lair somewhere in the lower levels. If they do, they'll become more violent as we approach. We must be ready. The rifle should have a significant effect on the Davidians. Proton beam mode will be especially effective while they are phase shifted. Yeah, whatever. As long as they do the damage, I'm not complaining. That, well, that's a computer, but it doesn't look like it's one I need to worry about. This, on the other hand, I do. Maintenance lift. It's on lockdown. Oh, how about that? I guess I need to use that computer after all. That'll do it. Wonder why it would be locked down in the first place. That is a good question. This isn't the computer core level. So where are we? The lift is stuck. We're somewhere on a maintenance level for environmental controls and waste recycling. Joy. We need to track down the damaged junctions on this floor and repair or bypass them before we can take the lift to the core level. And I'm seeing an awful lot of reds on the other side here. Are they Davidians or spiders? Let's find out. That doesn't seem to have worked right. Someone's locked the door with an encrypted key. And the key itself is a kiloquad long. We could be stuck here a long time. Well, let's use the resources of a starship. Okay, so much for the resources of Starship. Anything I can do here? Well, apparently so. Ah! Here we go. Yep, there's spiders, alright. Back to the pistol. I'd rather use the pistol on the critters and the rifle on the video. What was that? We're locked in. Awesome. Well, we have a computer here, or at least that is the biggest maintenance log thing I've seen.
Log entry supplemental. The strange power fluctuations are related to the problems in the power subsystems on the upper decks. So I'm looking into the possibility of feedback damage or spikes in the environmental systems. It could take some time to find the problem and make repairs, though. Particularly if I need to use the replicators to create replacement components. Balan is low
That shows
to allow
current
use
events.
of the replicators for anything more than blood wine and vermilion sand peas. This is dirty, uncomfortable, and thoroughly disagreeable work. Naturally, as soon as the job involves mucking around in the recycled atmosphere and waste processing, I get the short straw.
Rough break. Doesn't look like there's anything else in this main room, so let's go this way. This looks simple enough. A relay to repair. Triolics and problems. Now see that when I do that, I get some chaining, so using the secondary fire mode does have its advantages, especially if they have to be close to each other. Yeah, who knew that plasma grenades would do such a good job with the Midians? Okay, let's make sure everybody's here. Okay, got something on down here.
Hello? Is someone out there? Please, help me!
Coming from the communications console.
Hello? Is someone there?
Who is this?
Please, you have to help me. I came down here to check on one of the atmosphere regulators. Then someone shot me.
Who?
I'm not sure. I didn't get a good look. He was so fast. Please, you have to find a way to open this door and get me out of here.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the manual override. Try to reach the.
No, he's back. No.
Oh, that didn't sound good. Manual release. Open. There's nobody here. Multiple phaser burns, contusions. This woman was murdered. She was just killed a few seconds ago. Well, no duh. We heard her. No other exits or entrances. Transporters are offline. How did he die? I mean, besides the obvious. How's that for a locked-room mystery?
Log entry supplemental. I've
Oh, it's this
upgraded
guy
a few
again.
of the components on this level, including remote overrides for bleed valves on environment controls, hollow emitters to expedite further repairs, and security overrides in case of emergency. I'm starting to suspect that the low-level radiation I've detected on these decks has affected the station inhabitants, and that some are showing signs of transient acute schizophrenia and paranoia. I'll have to maintain contact silence for now, so that they don't interfere while I'm trying to repair the systems.
Once I've corrected the problems causing the radiation leaks, we can deal with the symptoms. Log entry supplemental. My work here will take far longer than I originally anticipated. Fortunately, I've engaged a safety interlock on the maintenance lift, so no one will come down here without me knowing about it.
That jerk.
I found several program errors that have purged the affected subroutines. The work is much easier now. Soon, everything will be under control.
Sounds like someone was losing it. Still, that jerk. Okay, next step. Whoa, next step has problems. We have hostiles. Let's not restrict myself to using the rifle here. I do have useful kit abilities. Who you gonna call? Bypass this relay. Okay, we got 2 more relay things to deal with. Oh, how'd I miss that one? I'd forgotten that the whole point of coming up here wasn't to log through mystery, it was to get that relay. Embarrassing, embarrassing, embarrassing. Okay. Oh, yeah, looks like we have more of those guys in here. Oh, were they spiders? Yeah, and my crew took care of them. Well, it's nice that I keep them around for something.
Barricade, barricade, I see you. Barricade, barricade, what will you do?
Now, I want to say that that is not the first original voice for that little thing. The original one they had from when the mission came out was a lot creepier. Still, it does have that distinction of being the very first voice acting of Star Trek Online. And boy, was that a great choice to start with. That stuff that's spraying out there looks like it would be extremely unpleasant to be caught in the middle of, so that's why I've been kind of not running through it. But imagine it being much darker in here, and having that voice out of nowhere, and whoa! What? Okay, this is not good. And he's gone. Okay, I'm sure there is a perfectly rational explanation for this. Okay, we need an encryption. Let's see if I can run to the other side before it sprays again.
Barricade, barricade, dressed all in red. Barricade, barricade, soon you'll be dead.
Yeah. Didn't I say that this was a Halloween release when it came out? And oh, there's that guy again. Nice, this guy's a hologram. They did talk about the holo emitters. Yeah, that's not good. Let's slap down some of the fortifications here because I think we might need more. So clearly, Looney over there is responsible for the death of that technician. Now, if I were... Okay. The turrets are finding something. Even if I can't see the target. There we go. Oh, he's on the upper level. Jeez. How do you get up there?
Shield losing power.
Oh, nuts, there's a Davidian down here too. Multiple Davidians. A malfunctioning hologram. No wonder. The triolic energy would have degraded its program, causing instability, and the Davidians didn't bother it because nothing to feed on. The encryption key for the door might correspond to a subroutine embedded in the hologram's mobile emitter. You should be able to use it to open the door. Mobile emitters are still rare outside of Starfleet. Staff here must have spent quite a lot of latinum to get one. The land is probably selling more than drinks in Cabo. Probably be best if someone kept an eye on them, but Drake probably is doing the job just fine all by himself. Let's grab some stuff and head back to the door, and we should be able to make it work now and get back to the business of finding the source of triolic energy. This is it. We made it to computer core level. On this station, the core itself is down a long ramp area, past some regulator rooms. You should head there as quickly as possible. Again, back in the day, it was a lot darker in here, and the flashlights weren't anywhere near as effective. Open door? Yes, it is. Does this open? Let's examine it. Locked door. No special codes. You should be able to open it from the secondary security console, just down the hallway. Oh good, something that we don't have to jump through hoops for. Looks like it's up here. Oops. Before I can play with the controls, looks like we need to get rid of those uninvited guests. Well, looks like telekinesis won't work on these guys. It was worth a shot. Alright, now I can grant core access. That'll do it. So let's double back out. And see what's beyond that door. Besides trouble. Through the doorway, down the ramp. And looks like we have another dead body here. That's strange. That's a uniform that doesn't belong. 2 exits along the same wall. We need to take the southernmost door on the east wall. And another body. This person is from the 23rd century. They must be bringing their victims through time. We better stop them before they're responsible for other deaths, because that could hose the timeline. Yes, I concede that I more or less borrowed phrasing there. I was paraphrasing. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Now the first time that happened, that freaked me out like crazy. Coming in here and suddenly being surrounded by heaps of Davidians. That was a bad feeling. Core is located in the very bottom of this level. To reach it, we have to double back to the door, which we already did. Watch for ramps heading down. In the dark, it'll be easy to miss, although with these flashlights and the way they've done the lighting, making sense, not so intimidating. There are side rooms with auxiliary functions. To reach the core, watch to where the corridor slopes down and follow. So we may want to take a look at these other doors, because they may have interesting attributes. Perhaps they will even be helpful. So here's one such door. That's not helpful. That's full of bad guys. And while the guys are dealing with the rest of this, I'm just going to take the opportunity to do my scan. Because I can never pass up that sort of thing. Ah! Another dribble. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. No eating my chocolates. I think I'm going to determine that this character has a fatal weakness towards the chocolate. Metaphorically speaking, not literally. Okay, there was absolutely nothing of use in there. Although I'd like to point out that I think that if you have tactical training, you can do something in there. This is a regulator room. Needs some power to keep their gate active. We can use this to set up a power spike that might disrupt the Davidians and their gate. I am 100% behind that. Oh, another dead body. Whoops. Another set of Davidians. These guys are definitely trouble. But luckily, we seem to be able to slam the door on them. Thank you, we didn't need the freeze gun going on that one. Alright, that will hopefully help. Another dead body. Another past dead body. I sure hope that doesn't change time and cause all sorts of problems. New respawn point, new door, field control station at the lower level. We set up the field stations so that we can activate them and counteract their phasing ability. That sounds like a great thing. Let's get that shut on. Or shut on. Or whatever. Done. Whoa, spiders. Lots of spiders. I think those spiders started the pattern that continued in the Romulan arc, where you were dealing with Obisek and company. Whoa. With Obisek and company, and sparked the remark of how all the local fauna was trying to kill us. Alright, this could be it. Let's start prepping the battlefield.
Enemy target on sensor.
Okay, while they're doing that, I'm going to try to run around here and look. One of the computers that'll hopefully let me, yes, suppressing their cryolic energy. Now for my next trick, if I can find it, here we go. Here's the other thing that's supposed to allow us to do something. Drops the energy level of the portal. That should also be weakening them. Time to rejoin the crew and bust some ghosts. Unfortunately, the big one is still out there. Let's see if I can nuke him. Come on, just a little bit more. Okay, the hostiles appear to be down. The time portal heads back to the 23rd century. Yeah, you know what? I kind of figured that part out on my own. There's no telling how much trouble the Davidians may be causing in the past when the technology to detect them just doesn't exist. Once we get the readings, we should take them back to Deep Space K7. Their computing facilities are far more extensive than what we have on Velen. They might be able to find a way to shut it down. Well, let's scan the thing first, shall we? The distortion from the portal is intense and it's difficult to process all this info. We should at least be able to compensate enough to beam out. Let's take it back to K7 for analysis. We're back on the upper levels of Drazana. Let's beam back to the ship.
Welcome to Drazana. You're cleared for docking.
No, we're just leaving.
We have everything you need for shore leave, and a few things that you didn't even know you wanted. Shopping? You'll find it all here.
Oh, please,
and
stop talking.
Don't forget the 77th rule of acquisition. If you break it, I'll charge you for it.
Let's take use of the slipstream drive and cut our commute down substantially. Okay, should be able to get over here, dock, and do our thing. Now, you know, once upon a time, I would swear that, there he is. The fellow I have highlighted here may not immediately gain the attention of most Star Trek fans, at least not those who follow the television series. But the name of Mackenzie Calhoun actually has a history, and that comes from the Star Trek novels of years past. At some point, Star Trek decided to, folks doing the writing for the novels, decided to expand the universe, shall we say. He's like an expanded universe. And one of the earliest attempts at this was by the author Peter David, who wrote the New Frontier series of books. And the captain was Mackenzie Calhoun. The fact that he's still a captain now, years after the setting of those books, which was late Next Generation era, movie era, and the fact that he's still alive and kicking, still a captain, probably should say something all by themselves. He's a PvP contact, I believe, in the game. Preliminary analysis. Temporal incursion consistent with Davidian time portal technology. Thank you so much. Approximate length date, stardate 2715.6, Earth Standard Year 2265. Davidian portal based on phase-shifted tachyon spins, supported by a draw from Grozana's station power supply. Can it be closed or used? Portal suffers from instability due to quantum particle entanglement with phase-shifted particles. Portal can be enlarged or accessed with modulated directed energy. Phase-shifted entangled matter reaches critical point. This means that when triolic energy surges, we can remodulate an energy weapon, maybe even a hand phaser, to use the portal and travel back in time and stop them at their source. That sounds like an obvious next step.
Now that we know the Davidians have a portal to the past and approximately where they are focusing their attention, I see no other choice than to send you and your crew back there to stop them before they kill again. I'll be honest, time travel is a tool, At times, it is a useful one. I know Starfleet has hundreds of regulations about temporal incursions, but my job is to preserve the Federation, not make Admiral Quinn and the rest of the suits at Starfleet Command happy. If we break a few rules along the way, so be it. I need to make some preparations before you can proceed. I will contact you when the time is right. Drake out.
Oh, something to look forward to. Let's grab our Triolic
Until
pattern
next time.
insert. Let's take a quick peek to see if it's still highly limited. Nope, now it's level 65 enhancer. Plus 13 resistance. I'm still not sure that actually does us any good, but take what you can get. Let's refine my dilithium, just for, future reference. And that will be it for tonight. We are about 10 after 10, which is 10 after my usual close-up time, but as I've said in the past, if I'm still in the middle of a mission, I'm inclined to finish it first. It's finished, and we will proceed into the past next week. I will, of course, be streaming at the usual time of Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Again, depending on where things stand, it may go a little long. It can happen. I also do a stream on Saturday afternoons for Star Citizen. If you're interested in seeing what that's like, I stream that at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Again, the end time has that bit of wiggle room. I hope you enjoyed watching the stream. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your evening to watch and see a little bit of Star Trek Online. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.